Hello and welcome to Mid Island Custom Diecast. My name is Evan, and in this video we are going to be doing the Beefeaters build for February. It's the Matchbox Freeman Intercity Commuter. Remember, if you like what you see, to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications on future videos. So, unbeknownst to me at the start of this build, the theme was to make what the Beefeaters called a boring casting and turn it into something more interesting. I had never done a straight up restoration of classic casting, and so that is what I went for. As you can see here, I have two of these. I took the one that is substantially more beat up and fixed it up. So without further ado, let's get started. So we've already got it drilled apart, and it's got two little tiny rivet posts in the back and a couple or a hook on the front. So the figured I would refurbish the wheels, and so the axles were quite not too bad, but a little rusty. So took some sandpaper to them. The base gets a wire wheel treatment. Lately, I've been using these brand name Dremel wheels, and they just work so much better and faster. They don't spit little wires everywhere. So that's what we did here with the base. And here we are just doing up the grill. And then we took the Scotch-Brite wheel as well and just gave it a little once over. And once we're done with the base, we can set that aside, and we take the wire wheel to the body casting. And it wasn't too bad. It had some oxidization on it, and little tiny scraps of paint left here and there. I did go over it with a couple of different wheels and with the Scotch-Brite pad as well, and got that all nice and cleaned up. Then we went off to the soapy water to just give the interior a little wash up. Nothing to do here. There was no cracks or discoloration really of any kind. So just gave it a good cleaning. And same with the window unit. Did look like there were a couple of cracks on it. So once we got it cleaned up, we had a good look. The corners are quite beat up as they're fairly unprotected, but you can see there is a crack in the one corner, so we'll do the best we can. We'll see that later. Here's the base. Got my auto sole polish. I just got some flits in the mail, and I've been using that on the next couple castings, and I really like it, but the auto sole works good too. So with the buffing wheel and the auto sole, we go after the base, and it really cleaned up nice. No complaints whatsoever, other than my buffing wheel spits these little pieces of cotton everywhere, but yeah, came up really, really good. Look at that shine. So with the base done, we'll move on to fixing up the window unit. Here I'll start out with the 1200 grit sandpaper and really work at those corners and the front and back surfaces. I went around all sides pretty equally here, just so I would have a uniform sort of finish to it. And yeah, using the soapy water and the sandpaper, just got rid of all those scratches and whatnot there. There was no discoloration. So after the 1200 grit, we move on to 1500 grit. And I heard somewhere that you're supposed to work in opposite directions each time you switch levels of sandpaper. So I started out trying to do that, but eventually I just said, what the heck, and went the same direction. After the 1500, we can move to 2000, and yeah, I found that that was pretty much all the sanding it needed. There was no sanding needed on the inside, just the outside. So after the 2000 grit, we will move on to the older bottle of Flitz that I have, which is the green liquid. Here it is. And so we'll put that on there, spread it out, and hit it with the Dremel and the fluffy spinny thing, as Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop would call it. And yeah, we'll just apply that a few times, go over the front, go over all of it, get it shiny, nice and shiny, front, inside and outside, all around. And then we'll dip that into the Pledge Floor Shine to make it nice and shiny. So while I was working on the window, I had sprayed the body with a semi-gloss black. Now with the airbrush, we're going to do a chrome over it, give the a nice base for clear red. Here is the chrome finish, nice and shiny. So this is a candy blood red that I picked up at my local, not quite local, but next town over at their RC hobby shop. And took me a little bit of time to figure out how much to thin it and how to apply it, but in the end, it did come out pretty darn good. And you can hear in the background my insanely loud compressor that I use, which is just your standard construction compressor. So I'm looking for a nice quiet one. If you have any recommendations for an airbrush compressor with a tank preferably that's nice and quiet, please do leave that down in the comments. So after a few coats of that, here we are. Now on to the gloss clear coat. This is from Splash Paints. I just got a bunch in the mail. So we're going to give this a shot. I found mixing 3-to-1 with the hardener or catalyst or whatever you want to call it is a little challenging at this volume, but we got there, and yeah, the clear coat came out nice. This is the first time I've ever done clear coat through the airbrush, and I did apply quite a few coats. But I think you'll see that it turned out pretty nicely. Now the wheels, I did want to refurbish them, not do a wheel swap. So Molotow Chrome Pen gets applied to the center. Now, really what I should have done is polish these wheels. They're a little bit ratty, I guess is the right word. But here's the center caps came out real nice, the rims, if you will. So here's all our pieces. There is the body after the clear coat. Pretty nice. The wheels and the windshield goes in. The interior goes in, and obviously I had a little trouble putting the wheels back in, but we got them after a bit of fiddling around. And like I said at the beginning, these castings had some insanely small posts, and I tried to drill one out when I took it apart, and I blew through the side of it, not with the drill bit, but with the tap. So we are going to glue this one together today, which I don't like to do, but so be it. What do you know? I guess what else are you going to do, right? So with a little CA glue on the post there, we'll close the chassis down on top and let her dry. Now before we see where we ended up, remember to check out my Instagram and Outlaw Speed Shop's Instagram for the Skid Invitational build coming up. And do head over to Andrew's channel if you are not subbed already. We'll be doing a Porsche build for his 1-year anniversary. And here is where we ended up with this one. You can see the windshield unit is looking a little better. I don't know. I guess, you know, it turned out pretty good. I couldn't get it all the way with the crack on the corner there. So we just did the best we could, and it looks pretty good. The red paint, really happy with how that turned out. And I think the grill and the base, it all looks pretty good. So anyway, thank you guys all for watching. And thanks for all the new subscribers. Really hoping to get to 500 pretty soon. And we're on track for that. So we'll leave you with some glamour shots here. And we will catch you next time.